Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a little while since we last reacted to a TV show together, but Andor is here. It is surprisingly highly anticipated. I think if you'd have said to people a year ago that Andor would turn out to be probably one of the most anticipated Star Wars series of some time, they'd struggle to believe you. Apologies for the heavenly light in the background. The sun is currently shining through the window. I can't lower the blind anymore. It will disappear in a few moments, but it is early morning, so it's quite low in the sky. And it's also why I look, well, it's one of the reasons why I look like crap. So apologies, it will disappear momentarily. In the meantime, just imagine I'm some kind of angel. You know, I'm an angelic force. I know I don't look like it. I look more like a demon. But yeah, enjoy it. So yeah, this is a surprising sort of I'd say outsider for a show. It's almost like a black sheep, where everyone's attention at the start of the year was on Kenobi. I think that this show might end up being better. Certainly from the early review vibes I've been getting about, the tone of the show, how it's structured. Certainly, the idea that we're getting 12 episodes instead of 6, even if the runtime might still only be, comparatively low. Each episode, being between sort of 35, 40 minutes long. And there probably is going to be again, 10 minutes of credits because, for some reason Disney like to do that. But I'm just looking forward to a mature Star Wars show that isn't filled with nostalgia. This era right now is where my favorite period of Star Wars is. During the Empire's kind of rule, the Empire is in their element, and we get to truly see, how they rule. And I think that's what this show is going to focus on is, the small folk, the people who, aren't Jedi, they aren't freedom fighters, they are ordinary people. And we're going to see how the fascist regime affects them directly. And it's going to be slow. It has, several people have said the first couple of episodes are quite slow, but the third episode is where it really, really picks up. And I don't mind that. Again, I like kind of slow episodic storytelling. You don't need to have, everything crammed into 6 episodes like they did in Kenobi. I think sometimes that can detract from the show. So I'm more than happy for this show to take its time, And obviously it's getting a second season, which they will be filming later in the year. So, again, it's not something that they even need to tell the whole story in one season. It's quite unique because obviously we know that Cassian will survive the series, but ultimately he won't survive the events of the rebellion. It's strange in that way because, we've already seen Cassian's fate. And so, in a way, I mean, that obviously connects us more to the character because we know of his plight. We know that, the sacrifice he makes. But for me, he was the most interesting character in Rogue One. I never really could connect to Jyn. Chirrut was an interesting character, but, it's like he was verging on the Jedi of the series, that movie when, there wasn't really a Jedi. But Cassian was, obviously a rebel at heart. And he alluded to things that, he'd done in the past that, rebels have to do, the stuff that's not very nice. And so I always wanted to learn more about that. So this is going to be very interesting. Now, for anyone wondering, I'm not uploading any more full reactions to Patreon. Patreon is gone. I'll probably upload a separate video, discussing that. And I'll be honest, I battled with myself as to whether to record these videos. But I decided to push through with it, so we're going to watch it. So, yeah, without further ado, let's watch the first 3 episodes of Andor. I like the synthy vibes of the intro. The very beginning. What planet are we on? Morlana 1. I've never heard of that planet. Is it supposed to be some kind of red light district? I love the aesthetic though. the soft blue.
No weapons.
Who's he here for is the question.
Oh, that is a hard look for a little thing like you.
These two are
There was a girl from Canary
gonna suffer.
several months ago.
So I'm guessing he and his sister were separated when they were young. Presumably after the Empire attacked. That gonna be the guards. They really leave the nice warm strip bar with the lovely ladies to come and chase after him.
I'm not moving.
He wants them close.
You take it and I walk away. I don't need any surprises.
He wants them to get close. Yeah, there you go. Boys, you should have stayed in the nice warm strip club.
Tell me what to do. Let's hear it, boss.
He's clearly not hesitant of killing people in Rogue One, so there's a journey to be had here.
You didn't mean it. You fell. We're going together. I'll tell them what happened.
Okay. I feel like that was the smart choice. That ship is not going to make it. I think she clearly wants to leave the planet. But she's not going to enjoy what's coming.
Pausing for data lag.
Tell me what she said.
Data lag. He's clearly not top of the line.
Ruining your health and reputation with friends of low character.
Don't tell anybody you saw me. Don't tell anybody you know where I am.
He can't, well...
That's two lies.
Yeah.
Let's have both. I will have to recharge at home.
It takes energy for him to lie.
Please. I really need this.
It's interesting, and Cassian's always been twitchy and had that nervous kind of energy, but he's always had like a confidence in Rogue One. Here, he's missing that confidence, I think.
You rose to make your point more vocal.
That's not worth staying up for, then I'm not worthy of the uniform.
Oh
Have you
God.
modified your uniform?
Perhaps slightly. Pockets piping and some light tailoring.
Oh no. This is the teacher's pet.
Crevasse.
I don't understand.
I want you
It's telling him to
conjure a
leave it.
suitable accident.
Yeah.
And let's make sure it's on the far side of the plaza. Let's get it outside the leisure zone.
But they were murdered.
No, they were killed in a fight. They're in a brothel, which we're not supposed to have. The expensive one, which they shouldn't be able to afford. Drinking Revenant, which we're not supposed to allow.
Trying, sir.
When I
Wow,
said
this
bad
guy is
time,
so
I wasn't referring to
uptight.
the fact that you spent all night worrying this. I meant that I am on my way this very morning to an Imperial Regional Command review.
See, already this feels like the nitty-gritty of the Star Wars world. Like, you don't think about corporations and people just working menial jobs. I get the feeling the natives are about to get the old Christopher Columbus treatment.
Forward. Forward.
This guy is a true detective.
Wait, go back. Go back.
He might be working for a corporation
What is that?
rather than anything noble.
I don't know what's more disturbing, the fact that our corporate borders are unprotected or your complacence about it. Find it.
Our corporate borders.
Want it left, and where it
If that isn't a line that will come from Amazon one day, and I don't know what will.
Well, it's too much for you, let me know.
Seriously, I'm not one of these losers gonna let you float until they forget.
He's clearly got history. And some dodgy dealings.
You need work this bad.
Leave him out of it.
He said all I needed to do was stand here.
And just stand there,
You
yeah.
think I'm messing around?
I just get the feeling that at some point the Empire is going to be here, and they are going to they're going to fuck some shit up. Definitely going to fuck shit up in the flashback, but I think likewise they might fuck shit up here as well, and he might be the cause of it.
Look alive. He's on his way up.
Noodles. They have blue ramen.
Well, I'll be
It's just like blue milk.
Ferrix.
Everything is blue.
We've been working on it.
Set up a desk here to monitor anything that comes in. Let's go!
You gotta admire his determination. He will serve his corporate overlords. That's interesting, that. I mean, that's clearly a Y-wing there, but it looked like a ship of similar design to Ochi's ship on the left there.
Don't come back. Oh, come on, Pegler. No. No. We're done. No more favors. No
I was
more
gonna say,
deals.
he's clearly a man who has used up all the favours he could get.
I don't want to know what you're doing or what.
I love the general sense of fear that everyone has of just, you know, being detected by the Empire. No one wants to know what's going on. Where are all the parents? Why is it just like kids? Seriously, there's like 7 minutes of credits. Why? Why? It does irk me, the fact that, you know, the episode runtime is like, there's a lot of it dedicated purely to credits. And there's no doubt a lot of people involved in this show, but, you know, it's like 7 minutes. Do we really need that much? Okay, interesting first episode. They were definitely right. I read several reviews that said, you know, that firstly, the first couple of episodes were going to be slow. And there will be times when this show will leave you a little bit, like, there's no grandiose ending to each episode. It's not like there's going to be cliffhangers to every episode. And I'm absolutely A-okay with that. You know, this is an episodic, you know, storytelling show. This isn't like Kenobi or, you know, anything like that where, you know, there's limited episodes and each one has to kind of end on a beat that keeps people interested in the next episode. And I think that's where a lot of casual fans might struggle here. This first episode, other than that one confrontation with those security guards, there wasn't a blaster fired, there wasn't, you know, any kind of huge action scene. We didn't see the Empire at all. You know, very low-key is what I would call it, and I kind of like that. You know, this was a very nitty-gritty kind of Star Wars world. It was a great mix of, you know, if you were to look at any of the scenes here, there's enough to make you recognize that this is Star Wars. You know, but it's also, you know, again, not filled with callbacks and nostalgia and, you know, clear fan service. It feels like a real world. It feels like, you know, it could be a city anywhere in the world, you know, just with a few Star Wars aliens or, you know, spaceships thrown in. And, you know, that is a refreshing change of pace. What I also kind of like is the fact that, you know, whilst Cassian clearly has a lot of the same personality traits as he does in Rogue One, you know, he's got that kind of very nervous energy, that, you know, kind of almost, you know, the paranoia, you know, he's got that kind of twitch that says, you know, he could change at any moment, but he lacks the confidence. Sorry, Zuko's... I'm trying to make sure he doesn't... He's lying down right by the wires and trying to make sure he doesn't eat any of the wires. He lacks the confidence of the Cassian in Rogue One. You know, obviously he's a man who doesn't have the resources that Cassian has. The rebellion is not really up and running to the way it is, you know, 5 years later. And he is there just trying to survive. It's clear that, you know, obviously he's got different motives. He's working towards something, but a lot of it seems to be survival, you know. And there's a lot of vibes of Han Solo from The Force Awakens in him, in that he's a man who is clearly hold on. You doing? Stop it, buddy. He's a man who's clearly used up all his favours. You know, his game is old, as they say. There's no one left for you to swindle anymore. And it feels like people are onto his, onto his bullshit. It feels like, he has definitely taken advantage of some people. And, obviously he's very nervous about there being comeback from people who he might have, diddled. And it's weird because, clearly there was a lot of nervousness for him about killing those 2 security guards. He was determined to try and cover up his tracks, when in reality, he's not a player in the galaxy. If it wasn't for this deputy detective guy, who Ian in himself is quickly becoming an oddly favourite character of mine, just because of how much he reminds me of, the school SWAT. Now, for those of you who aren't from the UK, you may not have heard the term SWAT before, but SWAT basically, imagine like a teacher's pet. It's kind of like that. It's someone who, is ultra conformative to, being on good behaviour, trying to be like the teacher's favourite, trying to be in favour with the teachers, the person who would easily tattletale to get a class in trouble if it meant that, it looked good for them. And this guy, he clearly has principles. He's clearly determined to investigate. He's got some great, intuitions, or he's just working for a global corporation that, they don't care about justice. They don't care about ultimately their own people. They care about, not pissing off the Empire, which is, probably smart in this world at the moment. But, it's not something you see a lot of. Obviously, in the prequels, we heard about the Trade Federation, the banking conglomerations. The idea that these corporations have become empires in of themselves. And, this is another example. We don't see too much of it in the modern era. It's very much empire, 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 with the odd mix of the Pike Syndicate mixed in, crime syndicates. But we don't see a lot about the corporations. And the corporations will be, someone who, they have their own fleets, they have their own security forces, they have their own borders. They are in of themselves very much like their own countries. So it's good to see that, and again, people are just, people are people. That's what I kind of liked about this first episode. So definitely a slow start. But, you can sense the general vibe of no one wants to get involved with any sketchy business. Everyone's got that undertone of, we don't want the Empire involved. Like, the Empire seems to be the big no-no here. And, I like that. We don't have to see them. We just sense the general, worry of people incurring the attention of the Empire. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to move on to episode number 2. And, I will see you for it.